वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च। You can repeat from the shloka number 12. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu
येष सर्वेषु भूतेषु
गूढोत्मान प्रकाशते
गूढोत्मानप्रकाशते
दृश्यते त्वग्रया बुद्ध्या
दृश्यते त्वग्रया बुद्ध्या
सूक्ष्मया सूक्ष्मदर्शिभिः
सूक्ष्मया सूक्ष्मदर्शिभिः
यच्चेद्वाङ्मनसि प्राज्ञः तद्यच्चेज्ज्ञानमात्मनि ज्ञानमात्मनि महति नियच्छेत् तद्यच्चेच्छान्त आत्मनि उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत प्राप्यवरान् निबोधत तस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्यया दुर्गं पतस्तत्कवयो वदन्ति We have seen the Bhashyam to this shloka, 14th shloka, Uttishtata Jagrata. Now we have to see the Sangati to the next mantra. Through the shloka, through the mantra, 14th mantra, Upanishad says the subject matter, that is Atma, it is Sukshma Vishaya. It is Sukshma Vishaya, and knowing, understanding Atma is like walking on the razor's edge. The difficulties involved in this pursuit of Jnanam and therefore Moksha is presented by this mantra, 14th mantra. Kavayaha vadanti, the wise people, Kavayaha, they talk of this pursuit as difficult as the walking on the razor's edge. Because unlike the other knowledge, this knowledge is not available for other pramanam for objectification. And since the subject matter is ati sukshma, sukshmatvat, therefore sukshma buddhi is required. For the person who has this samskrita buddhi, sukshma buddhi, for him it will not be a difficult one. For the prepared ones, it will not be a difficult one. So therefore, ati sukshmatvat, being very subtle, the subject matter is subtle subject matter because the subject matter is a very subject, and the subject is not available for objectification. It is not available as an object for knowing. The Jnaya Vastu being the very subject, therefore it is difficult. Therefore it is difficult. Ati sukshmatvat. It is dukkena sampadaniyam iti. This mantra says. Then the next mantra. The next mantra. Why it is difficult to know? Why it is difficult to understand? That is said by the next mantra. And Bhashyakara gives it Sangati. Sangati, we will read. Starting from the line, Tat Katam iti sukshmatvam.
Tat khatam iti sukshmatvam
Jneyasya iti uchyate. Uchyate. Being said. What is being said? Sukshmatvam. The subtleness, the subtlety. Ati sukshmatvam. The extreme subtleness of the object or of the thing which is to be known. Jneyasya. Object means not a physical object. That is the object which is to be known. That's what the meaning Jneyasya. Jneyasya, that which is to be known. What is to be known? Brahma, Atma. That is to be known. And tasya ati sukshmatvam asti. Since it is of the nature of extremely subtle, having the sukshmatvam, being of this being or having the status of being subtle, sukshmatvam means being subtle. Being subtle, jneyasya, of the thing which is to be known, that is Brahma, tat katam, how is that? How is that it is extremely subtle? Iti uchyate, that is being said. In the previous mantra, Bhashyakara had said that it is very subtle. Therefore, the pursuit of jnanam, which deals with the sukshma atma, is difficult. Now, through this Sangati Bhashya, why it is ati sukshmatvam? That being said, ati sukshmatvam nyayasya katam, how, of what nature is this, the subtle thing which is to be known? That being said in this, the mantra. Why it is subtle? Why it is subtle? Atma is free from attributes. Attributeless. Atma is nirgunam. Atma is nirgunam. That which has attributes, that which has qualities, that can be known as an object of knowledge. Like any object of knowledge, we can know a thing if it has attributes, if it has qualities. And when the attributes, when the qualities, when the properties becomes less and less, then the thing becomes more subtle and subtle. Lesser the attributes, lesser the grossness and the subtlety increases. So they are inversely proportional. Lesser the attributes, greater the subtleness, and therefore lesser the grossness. When the grossness of a thing reduces, then it becomes difficult to objectify and know it. Any object which is available as an object of knowledge for us for objectification, it's because of the attributes of the objects. And if that reduces, then it becomes difficult to know. Therefore, Atma being nirguna, it is nirguna, therefore free from attributes, therefore it is very difficult, all the more difficult. That is why it is Kshurasya Dhara Nishita Duratyaya. And here Bhashyakara will be saying in the Sangati, these Pancha Mahabhutas, starting from Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, these Pancha Mahabhutas, each Pancha Mahabhuta has got 5 attributes, 5 qualities. And the qualities keeps increasing starting from Akasha onwards. And the Prithvi has the maximum number of qualities, the maximum number of attributes. And in Taittiriya Upanishad, in the Srishti Prakaranam, how these Pancha Mahabhutas come into existence from Atma is mentioned. Tasmat etasmat akashaha sambhutaha etasmat atmanaha akashaha sambhutaha akashat vayuhu vayoragnihi agnirapaha apuh prithvi atmanaha brahmatmanaha akashaha sambhutaha. Akasha came into existence from Akasha Vayu to Agni, from Agni to Apaha, and final is Prithvi. Prithvi, which is the last one, which in the series of the creation, the evolution, the series of creation, Prithvi is the last one, evolved from the previous element, Panchamahabhuta. Prithvi is the last one, which has all the 5 properties, 5 gunas. Shabdadi Vishaya Panchakam. Shabdadi Gunakam. Shabdadi Gunaka. Pancha Shabdadi Gunakam asti. Prithivya. Prithvi has got all the 5 qualities, 5 attributes. Therefore, it is grossest. Prithvi has Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. It is available for Shabda. Prithvi makes sound. Prithvi makes sound, and Prithvi is available for touch. It has got a form, it has taste, and it has Gandha. Gandha is a main property. Other 4 properties are derived from the previous elements, out of which the Prithvi is born. This is the order. And if we go to the other element, which is one before the Prithvi, that is Apaha, water, which has got 4 elements, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. Compared to Prithvi, Apa has got only 4. Therefore, it is relatively less grosser. Less grosser, or the subtle, relatively more subtle. Rasa is the main attribute of water, Apaha. Whereas Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, these have come from the previous elements. These qualities have come from the previous elements, Akasha, Vayu, Agni. And if you take the Vayu, Agni, if you take the one which precedes the water, Agni has got form. The quality, the attribute of Agni is Rupa. Form, shape, color, Rupa. Agni doesn't have Rasa. Agni doesn't have Gandha, but it has got Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. Rupa is its own quality, attribute, Guna, whereas Shabda and Sparsha are derived from the previous elements, Panchamahabhuta, Tanmatras. Therefore, Agni is more grosser than the Prithvi, and relatively grosser than the water. And now the previous element to Agni is Vayu, whose guna is Sparsha. Therefore, Vayu has its own guna Sparsha and the guna of Akasha. So, Shabda Sparsha Gunatmakaha Akashaha. So, Akasha has got these 2 gunas, Shabda and Sparsha. Therefore, compared to Prithvi, it is more subtle, very less grosser. Compared to Prithvi, it is very, very subtle. It is very subtle. Compared to Apaha, it is relatively subtle. Compared to Rupa, still relatively subtle. It is subtle than the Prithvi, and therefore it is less grosser. Therefore, the number of properties reduces. Therefore, it is not available for easy objectification. The objectification also it reduces. The number of properties increases, then the more the number of properties, the more it is available for objectification as an object. Then the previous element is Akasha, whose property is Shabda, which doesn't have any of the other 4 gunas, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. So Akasha's quality is only Shabda. It is the only quality Akasha has. Therefore, it is subtlest. Among these 5, it is subtlest. And it is very subtlest, and therefore it is not grosser. Compared to Sparsha, it is less grosser. Compared to Prithvi, it is very less grosser. Not available. Akasha not available for objectification, like other objects which are available for your objectification. And what is before Shabda? Atmanaha, etasmat, Atmanaha. What is before there? Before Shabda is, that is Akasha, is Atma. Atma is in fact all the way. Akasha, from Akasha Shabda came, and from Atma plus Akasha Sparsha, Atma plus Akasha plus Vayu gives Agni. So this Atma is all the way, and Atma is the Karanam. It is the Karanam. And these 5 Pancha Maha Bhutas have got the attributes, and we have seen the number of attributes getting lesser and lesser. And when it goes to Atma, Atma is the subtlest of all. So therefore, it is not available for objectification. Since it is the subtlest of all, and therefore it has no attributes, at least Akasha has got one attribute. But Atma doesn't have even that. So it is Nirguna Atma. So therefore, Ati Sukshmatvam Atmanaha Nyayasya Vastunaha Atmanaha Ati Sukshmatvam Asti. This is what in the Sangati Bhashyakara is going to present. So now we can read. Stula Avadiyam Medini Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandhopachita Sarvendriya Vishaya Bhuta Tatha Shariram Medini, Iyam Medini Stula. Iyam Medini Stula. This Medini means Prithvi. Prithvi is called Medini. Medha means Grahana Dharana Shakti, Mahapranadha, that is different. Here Medha, Alpa Prana. Medha means fat. So Medini is that which has fatness. Therefore, it is easily available for your objectification. So Medini, Iyam Medini, Stula. This Medini is Stula. It is gross. Why it is gross? Because Medini Prithvi has got all the 5 gunas. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Upachita. Upachita is collected, accumulated, or conglomeration of these 5 gunas. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Upachita, Iyam Medini. Iyam Medini, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandhopachita. One sentence. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandhopachita, Iyam Medini. Then Sarvendriya Vishaya Bhuta. Because it has got all the Pancha Gunakam, therefore it is available for objectification to all the sense organs. It is the object of all the sense organs, 5 sense organs, Sarvendriya. All 5 organs of perception, they can objectify the Prithvi because it is the grossest. So the grossness, how do you measure the grossness? The grossness is measured in terms of its availability for the perception of sense organs. Prithvi is available for all the sense organs. And Apaha is not available for the Nasika, for nose. For Granendriyam, Apaha is not available. So one sense organ less. It is available only for the 4 sense organs, excepting Granendriyam. Then if you take Agni is available for only 3 sense organs. Because it has got 3 properties, therefore 3 sense organs. Prithvi has got all the 5 properties, therefore available for all the 5 sense organs. Apa has got only 4 properties, therefore available for 4 sense organs. Agni 3, therefore available only for 3 sense organs. It is not available for Granendriya. It is not available for Rasanendriya, taste. So tongue and ear. With this, you cannot objectify, you cannot understand water. Water doesn't have taste. Water is tasteless. The tasteless of the water is because of the Prithvi. Then we have this Agni. Agni has got 3, therefore available only for 3 sense organs. It is available up to the Netrendriya. For Netram, it is available, Agni. For Sparsha, and Shrotrendriya, it is available for hearing. So similarly, if you go down further and further, Akasha is the last one, and only it is got only one property, Shabda, therefore it is available only for the Shrotrendriya. So Akasha is only for Shrotrendriya, and when you further go in the sequence of the elements which are formed from Akasha, that is Shabda, Akasha, Vayuhu, Agnihi, Apaha, then it is more and more available for the other sense organs. And Prithvi available for all the sense organs. Therefore, it is grossest. So, the grossness or the subtleness is measured in terms of its availability for the sense organs. Since Shabda, Akasha, it's available only for Shrotrendriya, only one sense organ. Therefore, it is subtlest. Subtler, not subtlest, subtler. And Prithvi available for all the sense organs. Therefore, it is grossest. So, the more the availability for sense organs, that depends. That is a determining factor for the grossness or the subtleness. Now, this Sarvendriya Vishaya Bhuta, Sarvendriya Vishaya Bhuta, which one? Akasha. Sorry, Medini, Prithvi. Sarvendriya Vishaya Bhuta, Prithvi. So, because Medini is there, Yam Medini, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandho Pachita, and Sarvendriya Vishaya Bhuta. Sarvendriya Vishaya Bhuta, Medini. This Prithvi is available for objectification to all the indriyas, all the sense organs. Tata Shariram, in the same way Shariram also. As the Prithvi is available for all the 5 sense organs, so too the Shariram also. So too the Shariram. Why? Because Shariram is also Stulam. Yata Medini Stula, Tata Shariram api Stulam. Sarvendriya Vishayabhuta Medini. Yata Sarvendriya Vishayabhuta Medini, Tata Shariram api. Therefore, as the Prithvi, so the Shariram. Therefore, Shariram is also nothing but Prithvi only. It is available for all the sense organs. It has got all the 5 properties. You can see the Shariram, you can touch, you can smell, it makes sound also. So, all the Pancha Gunas are there in the Shariram. Therefore, it is available for objectification of all the sense organs. Now Bhashyakara says, what will happen if you reduce the number of properties, number of qualities? If you keep reducing, what will happen? That Bhashyakara says. Tatra Ekaika Gunapakarshena Gandhadinam Sukshmatva Mahatva Vishuddhatva Nityatvaditaratamyam Drishtam Abadishu Yavat Akashamiti Te Gandhadhayaha
ते गन्धादयः
सर्व एव स्थूलत्वात् स्थूलत्वात् विकाराः
सर्व एव विकाराः
शब्दान्ताः
शब्दान्ताः
यत्र न सन्ति
यत्र न सन्ति
किमु तस्य
किमु तस्य
सूक्ष्मत्वादि निरतिशयत्वम्
सूक्ष्मत्वादिनिरतिशयत्वम्
वक्तव्यम्
वक्तव्यम्
इति एतत् दर्शयति श्रुतिः
इति एतत् दर्शयति
श्रुतिः दर्शयति Shruti shows by what? By the next mantra, 15th mantra. So tatra is there in this tatra ekaika guna apakarshanena. Gunapakarshanam means removal of gunas. Ekaika means one by one. Removing the gunas one by one. Removing the gunas one by one will increase the subtleness. It will increase the subtleness. The subtlety will increase and therefore the pervasiveness. The pervasiveness also will increase. Prithvi is grosser and therefore it is not all pervasive. The pervasiveness of Prithvi compared to water or other elements, it is less. Akasha is the subtlest, Prithvi is the grossest. And therefore, Akasha is more pervasive than the Prithvi. The number of gunas, the lesser the number of gunas, the more will be the subtlety and the pervasiveness. So, Ekaika guna apakarshanena. Apakarshanam is removal. So, removal of one by one, gunas one by one, gandhadina, that is gandha, etc. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, these 5 gandhadina. Because gunapakarshanam is there, therefore he says gandhadina. Doesn't say shabdadina. You have to start from gandha for removing the gunas. Gandha, you remove it, then the other 4 gunas will be remaining. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa. Rasa, you remove it, then 3 gunas will be remaining. So you have to start from the gandha, the reverse order. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. This is general order, but now we are starting from gandha, the reverse order. Therefore, gandhadina, not shabdadina. From shabda, if you remove the guna, what is left out? Nothing is left out. Nirgunam only is left out. Therefore, it is not shabdadina, it is gandhadina. The word is also very properly is used here. Gandhadina. Gandhadina. Sukshmatva, mahatva, vishuddhatva, nityatvadi, taratamya. Taratamya, there is a gradation. The gradation in terms of sukshmatvam, the status of being subtle, sukshmatvam, subtlety. Mahatvam, mahatvam is pervasive, pervasiveness. Vishuddhatvam, vishuddhatvam is shuddhatvam, purity. The more it is subtle, the more it will be pure. The more it is gross, then less will be the purity, vishuddhatvam. And nityatvam also. Nityatvam is only an apekshika nityatvam, not the nityatvam like the atma. Nityatvam is, it is permanent, but more permanent. Because more subtle, therefore more permanent. Why more permanent? Because it is not available for the destruction, easy destruction. Prithvi available for 5 sense organs, and therefore it is available for objectification, therefore it is available for destruction also, more destruction. Whereas Akasha, it is subtle, available only for 1 sense organ. Therefore, it is not easily available for change or for the destruction. Therefore, Nityatvam, relatively more permanent. Akasha is relatively more permanent. Prithvi is less permanent. So Nityatvam also differs. There is a gradation. So a thing which is subtle is more permanent than the thing which is gross or grossest. In the Srishti Prakriya, starting from Akasha up to Prithvi. Now, in the Laya Prakriya, what happens? That is during the Pralaya time, the reverse process. That is, the Prithvi goes back to Apaha. Goes back to Agni. Agni to Vayu and Vayu to Akasha. So the destruction starts from Prithvi, not from Akasha. The destruction starts from Prithvi. So Prithvi is the first one which undergoes resolution during Pralaya. Therefore, it is less permanent. Nityatvam for Prithvi is less compared to the Nityatvam of Akasha. Akasha is the final one which will be resolved. The first which will be getting resolved is the Prithvi. Therefore, there is a Taratamyam. In terms of Sukshmatvam, Mahatvam, Vishuddhatvam, and Nityatvam, there is a gradation. Taratamyam, it is drishtam eva, it is seen. So, Ekaika Gunapakarshen, Gandhadinam, Sukshmatvadi, Taratamyam, drishtam, it is seen. Where Abadishu, what is Abadishu? Up is water. Up Adishu, Abadishu. Abadishu yavat akasham iti. Abadishu yavat akasham iti. That is abadishu in water. In water, because why he says water? Abadishu akasham iti. Because water, why he says start from water, not from Prithvi? Because Prithvi is already gross. Therefore, Prithvi is gross means it is the grossest. Therefore, there is no subtlety with Prithvi. So when we say Sukshmatvam, therefore we have to start from Akasha. From water, the one which is before Prithvi, Abadishu. Therefore, since Earth is already gross, therefore the Taratamyam when we talk start from Abadishu, start from water onwards, not from Prithvi. Because Prithvi is the grossest, there is no subtlety with regard to Prithvi. So we have to start from that which is subtler. Prithvi is the grossest. Compared to Prithvi, up is less grosser and it is the subtlest. So therefore, start from water, not from Prithvi. So Abadishu, starting from water, Yavat, going up to the Akasham, Akashamiti. Akasham is the subtlest. So the subtler is up and the subtlest is Akasha. So going from water, that is up to the Akasha. Abadishu yavat Akasham iti te Gandhadayaha, that is the qualities which start from smell. Gandhadayaha up to Shabdantaha, up to the Shabda, the sound, which is the property of Akasha. So going in the reverse order, from Gandha up to the sound, from smell to the sound, Shabda. So what happens? Gandha is the first thing which goes. Gandha is the first thing which goes. Then Gandha stands for Prithvi. So Prithvi. Then comes water. Water is rasa. Then it goes away. So Ekaika Gunapakarshanena, what happens? This Sukshmatvam increases. Going in the reverse order, Sukshmatvam increases. Therefore, Sarva Eva, all these are Stulatva vikaraha shabdantaha yatra na santi. Therefore, these qualities which are the cause for bringing about the grossness, which is the cause for bringing about the grossness, stulatva vikaraha, starting from gandhadayaha shabdantaha yatra na santi, in which it is not there, that is atma, and therefore that will be sukshmatvadi niratishayatvam vaktavyam. Therefore, atma, in which there are no such qualities, sukshmatva, there are no such qualities, gandhadayaha shabdantaha, starting from gandha up to the shabda, these attributes are not there in atma. What to talk about atma? Kimu vaktavyam? Sukshmatvadi niratishayatvam. Sukshmatva, the subtlety, subtleness. Niratishayatvam is there is nothing above atma. There is nothing greater than the atma in terms of subtlety, in terms of shuddhatvam, in terms of mahatvam. So why? Because atma is free from attributes. Nirgunam atma. Therefore, atma has nityatvam, shuddhatvam, sukshmatvam, mahatvam, tat vaktavyam. That has to be told. That is shown that is presented by the next mantra, Shrudihi Darshayati. So the subtleness, the sukshmatvam, mahatvam, vishuddhatvam, nityatvam, niratishayatvam, atmanaha, vaktavyam iti, Shrutihi Darshayati. Shruti presents atma, which has sukshmatvam, mahatvam, vishuddhatvam. That is going to be presented by the next mantra of the Shruti. Now we can read the mantra. Very important mantra. The similar mantra is there in Mundakopanishad in the very beginning itself. In Kathopanishad, it comes in the third section of the first chapter, whereas in Mundakopanishad, in the first chapter itself, Pratama Mundaka, in Pratama Kanda itself it comes. Through all these mantras, Shruti trying to define the indefinable, describe the indescribable. Nirgunam Atma, how it can be described, Shruti attempts to convey through some words. The words negate the possibilities. Neti iti prakriya. Neti prakriya. So we will read the mantra. Ashabdamasparshamarupamayam.
Ashabdamasparshamarupamayam.
Tatarasam nityamagandhavachayat.
Tatarasam nityamagandhavachayat.
Anadyanantam magatah param dhruvam.
Anadyantam param dhruvam.
Nichayatan nrittimukat pramuchyate.
Nichayatan nrittimukat pramuchyate.
Ashabdamasparshamarupamayam. It's all melanam. You have to split to understand. Sandhi has not happened. It is only melanam. Ashabdam asparsham arupam avyayam tata arasam. Sandhi. Here, dirgha sandhi. Tata arasam. No rasa. Everywhere it is ashabdam, asparsham, nanj. Nanj is there, tatpurusha. Nanj tatpurusha samasa. Not shabda, not sparsha, not rupa. Avyayam. Tata rasam you cannot say. When shabda, sparsha, all these are not there. What about rasa? Rasa will be there. Tata arasam, not rasam. Tata arasam. Savarna dirgha sandhi. Nityam agandam, agandavat cha yat. Anadi, anantam, mahataha param dhruvam Nichaya. Nichaya tat mrityamukat pramuchyate. Mrityamukat pramuchyate. So in this mantra, you can see two things. One is the nature, the swarupam of Atma, which is presented by all these words, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Avayamiti. And the second thing is how this Atma, this Atma, what is the phalam of knowing this Atma? One is Atma Swarupa, second one, Atma Jnana Phalam. These are the two things talked about. Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupam is talked about, and Brahma Jnana Phalam. Brahma Jnana Phalam. Now let us take the first one, Ashabdam. Before getting to the Bhashyam, we will see, understand the words. Ashabdam. Ashabdam means Na Shabdam Ashabdam. Na Shabdam Ashabdam. Shabda means sound. So therefore, that Shabda Tattva Rahitam. Shabda Tattva Rahitam Ashabdam. Soundless. Shabda means soundless. It means it is free from the guna sound. It is free from the guna sound. So, Shabda guna not there. So, Atma will not make any sound. There is no sound for Atma. It is silent. No sound. So, Atma Jnanam is not through sound, any sound. Even through the Omkara and Uchcharanam, Atma Jnanam will not happen. This is a Saguna Upasana. Atma is without sound. So, free from sound. Brahma doesn't have any Shabda. Ashabdam. Then Asparsham. Sparsha means touch. Sparsha means touch. Asparsham means free from touch. Atma is free from touch. Asparsham. Sparsha is the guna of the Vayu. So Vayu gunakam sparsham na vidyate. Not there for Atma. Sparsha tattva ragitam. So Ashabdam Asparsham. Okay. Then Arupam. Rupa is form, shape or color. Form, shape or color in general, it is available for the Netrendriya, Chakshu. And Atma doesn't have form, therefore Atma cannot be seen. It cannot be seen through Netrendriya. Not available for Shabda, Shrotrendriya. Not available for Sparsha, that is for touch. For skin, it is not available. Skin perception. For skin perception, it is not available. And it is Arupam, doesn't have form, therefore it is not available for Chakshurindriya also. It cannot be seen. So anything which is seen cannot be Atma. Any vision cannot be Atma. Because Atma doesn't have form. So how can you see it? So now we have to take the Arasam. Arupam, Avyayam will come later. Arasam. You can take first all the Pancha Gunaka. Pancha Gunakams are negated. Pancha Gunas are negated for Atma. First we will take Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam. Then we can take Arasam. Rasa means taste. That which is taste is tasty. That's why it's called Rasam, I think. Rasa must be tasty. And Atma doesn't have Rasa. So it is free from taste. You cannot taste it. It is not available for Yakhva. Not available for Rasanendriya. You cannot taste it and understand Atma. Free from taste also. Atma is not sweet. It is not salty also. So tongue doesn't have any role. We cannot know it through Rasanendriya. Then Gandha, Agandavat, Gandha smell. Agandavat, Vat is that which has the Gandha, that is called Gandhavat. Na Gandhavat, Agandavat, free from smell. So all the Pancha Gunas are not there for Atma. Therefore, Pancha Gunas, these 5 Gunas, not there for Atma. So therefore, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Arasam, Agandham, it stands for Gunahina, Gunahinam, Atma, Gunaragitam. Atma is, Brahma is Gunaragitam. So Gunaragitam, free from Gunas. Then Avyayam. Na Vyeti iti Avyayam. Na Vyeti, that which cannot, which doesn't change, is called Avyaya. That which doesn't change is called Avyaya. Free from any change. Free from any change. Free from decay. That is called Avyaya. And therefore Atma is Nityam. It is Nityam. Since it doesn't undergo any change, therefore it is Nityam. And Atma is Anadi. Anadi is free from beginning. Adi is beginning. You can take the meaning of the word Adi as Karanam also. So Atma doesn't have Karanam, free from Karanam. Karana Ragitam. Atma is Avyayam, Apakshaya Ragitam, and therefore Nityam. And Atma is Nityam. It doesn't have Karanam, doesn't have a beginning. Beginningless Atma, therefore doesn't have Karanam. Anadi. Anantam. Anantam means that which has no end, endless. Anantam, the word Anta. Anta can be taken as the product. Anantam is, Atma is not a product. Atma, Anantam, it is free from any effect. It's neither the Karanam nor the effect. Anantam. Antaha na vidyate yasmin. Anantam. So free from cause and free from the cause and effect. Free from beginning, free from end. Anadi Anantam. Free from beginning, free from end. It means free from the cause and also free from any effect. Then Magataha Param. Magataha, we are familiar with the word Magataha. Magataha stands for this Samashti Buddhi, Hiranyagarbha. Param, it is greater than, it is distinct, greater from Hiranyagarbha, that is Samashti Buddhi. Dhruvam. Dhruvam is that which is Kutastam, changeless. That which is changelessly, constantly present, permanent. That is Dhruvam. Nichaya. Nichaya, Ni. Ni is Nischaya. Ni stands for Nischaya. Nichaya means having known, having understood. Nichaya is Sakshat Kritya. Sakshat Kritya, having known. Nichaya, Tat, Brahma. Tat is Brahma, Atma. Nichaya, having understood clearly. Mrityamukat pramuchyate. Mrityamukat pramuchyate. From the mukha, from the mouth of Mrityu. Mrityu is death. From the mouth of death, a person is freed. The person is freed. Having known this Atma, understood this Atma as Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Ityadi, a person is free from death. He is free from Maranam. He understands himself to be that which is free from any change. Therefore, where is Maranam for him? So, Maranam is not there. Therefore, Samsara not there. Maranam, Mrityu stands for Samsara. Mrityu stands for Samsara. And Samsara is Samsara, Avidya, Kama, Karma. These are the thing which binds a person. Samsara. So Samsara not there. So therefore, the person becomes free. He understands himself to be free from any change, He understands himself to be limitless. He doesn't have kartrutvam. So kartrutvam is not there. Therefore, there is no kama, and therefore no avidya. Avidya is also not there. Therefore, samsara is not there for the person. Therefore, the person is free from mrityu. So mrityu stands for all this samsara, avidya. So it is not there for the person. Since he knows himself to be Atma, which is doesn't have any vikara, therefore no karma, therefore no kama, because there is no karma, therefore no punya papam, and therefore there is no kama also, because he discovers himself to be limitless Purnam, therefore there is no desire left out in him, in the person, to be achieved. So no kama and no kama, therefore the person has no avidya, because he has got knowledge, this knowledge, therefore no avidya. So there is no samsara for the person. He is free from the samsara. The word samsara, the word mrityu stands for samsara, avidya, kama, karma. The samsara, avidya, kama, karma. Avidya, kama, karma is an expression. It goes together. Avidya, kama, karma. So mrityu mukat is avidya, kama, karmanaha pramuchyate. It becomes free. It becomes free. Now the bhashyam. Ashabdam,
Ashabdam,
asparsham,
Aspasham.
Asparsham,
arupam,
Arupam.
avyayam,
Avyayam.
Avyayam,
tatha arasam,
Tatha Arasam.
Arasam,
nityam,
Nityam.
Nityam,
agandhavat cha,
Agandhavacha.
yat etat,
Yat
Yat Etat,
vyakyatam brahma avyayam.
Vyakyatam
Yatam
Brahma
Brahma
Avyayam.
Avyayam,
Yat brahma, yat brahma, tat vyakyatam. Tat vyakyatam. Already been explained. Yat brahma, tat vyakyatam. Already been explained. Vyakyatam. The Bhashyakara himself, Bhashyakara simply says, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam. Already I have explained this in the Sangati Bhashya. Therefore, you please refer there. So Bhashyakara doesn't say that. He will not explain again. Because already been explained in the Sangati itself. Vyakyatam. Yat maya vyakyatam brahma. Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Avyam, Tata Arasam. Free from sound. That is, that's got no sound property. Therefore, the next one is asparsham, free from the quality of touch. Arupam doesn't have form. Then arasam, free from taste. Agandhavat, free from smell. And avyayam, it is doesn't undergo any decay, and it is nityam. It is nityam. So that Brahma, which is nirguna, vyakyatam. It is vyakyatam, already explained. Already been explained. Here the vyakyatam can also be taken the other way. It is kya means to tell. So vyakyatam is the Brahma is that which cannot be objectified by any of the gunas. Therefore, Brahma is ashabdam, asparsham, arupam iti. That meaning also can be taken. So Brahma is free from all this guna. Agandhavat, the last one, agandhavat. Gandhavat, vatu pratyaya. Gandhaha asya asti iti gandhavat. Na gandhavat, agandhavat. Nanch tatpurusha samasa. All these are nanch tatpurusha samasa. Na shabdam, na sparsham, na rupam, na rasam, na gandhavat. Now Bhashyakara will say, Bhashyakara will try to connect the each words. These five gunakas are not, the gunams are not there. Therefore what? So you will see the connection. Bhashyakara will present the connection. You can read. Yadhi
Yadhi.
Yaddi,
Shabdadimat
शब्दादिवत्
दिमत्
tat vyeti.
तत् वेति
वेति
Shabdadimat, matu pratyaya. That which has, that is the meaning. Shabdadimat, that which has, Shabdadi, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. This pancha guna, which has Shabdadimat, tata vyeti. Tata vyeti. That will change, that will decay. Which will decay? That which has these 5 gunas. Starting from Shabda, Sparsha, starting from Shabda. Only this will change. What about Brahma, which doesn't have? Therefore, doesn't change. Therefore, it is called Avyayam. That is going to say. Idam tu ashabdadimatvat
idam
इदं
tu
तु अशब्दादिमत्वात्
avyayam
अव्ययम्
na vyeti na kshiyate.
नाभ्येति
So, idam tu, whereas here, idam tu, whereas ashabdadimatvat. Shabdadi mat means shabdadi asti, santi, shabdadi santi, yasminiti. Shabdadi santi yasminiti or asya iti shabdadi mat. Tasya bhavaha shabdadi matvam. The status of having these qualities is called shabdadi matvam. Na shabdadi matvam, ashabdadi matvam. Because of that, tasmat, panchami. Shabdadi mat is shabdadihi santi yasmin iti shabdadi mat. Tasya bhavaha shabdadi matvam. Panchami, tasmat, shabdadi matvat. And nanj, na shabdadi matvat. Because it is free from having the status or being free from having the status of this quality shabdadi matvam. Therefore, Brahma is avyayam, na vyeti. Brahma is avyayam, na vyeti, na kshiyate. It doesn't decay. It doesn't undergo any change. It doesn't diminish. Doesn't fall apart. It is because it is free from the qualities. Therefore, avyayam. Vyayaha na vidyate. Yasya saha avyayaha. There is no change for that. That is called avyayam. So therefore, nakshiyate. Doesn't decay. So Atma is free from the Shabdadi guna. Therefore, it is avyaya. That is a connection. Then the next line. Atayeva cha nityam.
atayeva cha
नित्यम्
Therefore, it is nityam. Why it is nityam? Because na vyeti, it is avyayam. Avyayatvat nityam. Because it is avyaya, therefore it is nityam, permanent. Yad hi vyeti
वेति
tat anityam.
तत् अनित्यम्
Yat vyeti tat anityam. That which vyeti undergoes, that which decays, undergoing changes, decay, that which diminishes, that is anityam. What is anityam? That which decays, that is called anityam. Atma is free from vyaya, therefore nityam. Idam tu
इदं तु
na vyeti ataha anityam.
na vyeti
अतः अनित्यम्
Idam tu na vyeti. Atma na vyeti. Therefore it is therefore nityam, not
Nityam.
anityam. Oh, sorry, okay. It is nityam. Idam tu na vyeti ataha nityam. Atma doesn't change, doesn't undergo any change, it doesn't decay. Therefore it is nityam, not anityam. Okay. Idam tu na vyeti ataha nityam. Then the next line. Itascha nityam
Itascha
Itascha
nityam
nityam
anadi avidyamanaha adihi karanam asya.
anadi
Anadi
avidyamana
avidyamana
adihi
adihi
karanam
karanam
asya
asya.
Tad idam anadi.
tat idam
Tadidam
anadi
Itascha because of the reason. Because of the reason, itascha, because of the following reason, the reason going to come. Itascha nityam, because of the following reason, Atma is nityam. What is the reason? Atma is anadi. Atma is anadi. Anadi, na adi, na adihi anadi. Adi can mean the beginning. Adi can be the beginning. Na adihi, that is absence of the beginning, anadihi. And Bhashyakara says, avidyamanaha adihi. Avidyamanaha, absence of adihi. And adihi, he gives a meaning, karanam, cause. So there is no cause. There is no cause for the Atma. Atma doesn't have a karanam. In fact, it is the karanam. It is the karanam for everything, and it itself doesn't have a karanam. Atma is the karanam for everything, but it doesn't have karanam. It doesn't have a karanam, that is negated. The next one. So the anadihi is na adihi, avidyamanaha adihi. Adihi is karanam, na vidyate. Therefore, tat idam anadi. Therefore, that is anadi, beginningless. Which is beginningless? That which is free from the cause. It's called anadi. So anadi means causeless. It is a cause, but it is causeless. It is not created. Therefore, Atma is free from cause, anadi. Because it is causeless, therefore it is nityam. Because it is causeless, therefore it is nityam. All these words, they are not new. Already we have seen in the Gita. The Gita itself, through different words, Bhagavan Krishna in the second chapter, he presented, we have seen Avyaya is that which is indestructible. Avyaya, avinashi. Avinashi tu tad viddhi. Ena sarvamidam tatam. Vinasham avyayasyasya. Nakaschit kartum argati. And it is free from adi anta. Antavantaha ime degaha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. Anashinaha aprameyasya. Tasmad yudyasva bharata. And because it is anadi, it is ananta, therefore it doesn't have birth, it doesn't have death. Therefore, na jagyate, na mriyate va kadachit, nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha. It is ajaha, not born, it is not created. Therefore, it is nityaha, ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha, na hanyate anyamane sharire. Through all these shlokas, this already we have seen in the Gita of Bhagavan Krishna, he presents Atma Tattva. And these Ashabda, Asparsha, Arupa, Rasagandha, that also Bhagavan Krishna presented through the shlokas, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dagati Pavakaha, Nachainam Kledagyantyapaha, Nashoshayati Marutaha. When he says it is not available for cutting for the Shastra, for the weapons, not available for the Pavaka, the Agni to burn, it means it is not available for any of the any of the sense organ. It is not available for any change which can be brought about by Pancha Mahabhuta, because it is the cause of everything. So anything which has come out of Pancha Mahabhuta, the five elements, that cannot bring about a change in Atma. Therefore, it is Nityam. It is Avyaya. So you can connect this shloka with the shlokas of the Gita, starting from the the 11th shloka up to the 30th shloka. The whole shloka, the number of shlokas which are there, this covered in a condensed way in this shloka, this one shloka. Okay, then the next line of the Vashyam. Yat
यत्
यत्
yat hi
यत्
यत्
हि
हि
adimat
यत् हि
आदिमत्
आदिमत्
tat
तत्
तत्
karyatvat
कार्यत्वात्
कार्यत्वात्
anityam karane praliyate
नित्यं
नित्यं
कारणे
कारणे
प्रलीयते
yata prithvyadi
यथा
यथा
पृथिव्यादि
पृथिव्यादि
idam tu sarva karanatvat akaryam
इदं तु
इदं तु
सर्वकारणत्वात्
सर्वकारणत्वात्
अकार्यम्
akaryatvat anityam
अकार्यत्वात्
अकार्यत्वात्
अनित्यम्
अनित्यम्
न तस्य कारणम् अस्ति यस्मिन् प्रलीयेत
न तस्य
तस्य
कारणम्
कारणम्
अस्ति
अस्ति
यस्मिन्
यस्मिन् प्रलीयेत
प्रलीयते
प्रलीयेत. So here, why Atma is Nityam? Another reason being given. Itascha Nityam. Itascha Nityam. Because of this reason also, Atma is Nityam. It is Nityam. Why? The reason is Anadi. It doesn't have cause. Not having cause. Now, Bhashyakara here explains how not having cause will lead to Nityatvam. Will lead to Nityatvam. Yat hi Adimat. Adimat is having beginning. Adimat. Adihi asya asti. Adimat. Adimat, that which has a beginning, that's called Adimat. Adihi asya asti. Adimat. Na Adimat, Anadimat. Na Adimat, Anadimat. Doesn't have a beginning. Tat karyatvat anityam. Karyatvat anityam. That which has a beginning is a karya, it's a product. That a product comes into existence. A product comes into existence, stays for a particular period of time, and then it resolves back into the cause. So a product is that which has got a beginning. Why a thing has got adimat karyatvat? It gives the hetu. The hetu is karyatvat. Being a product, therefore it has a beginning. Being a product, it has a beginning. What? Anityam. That which is anityam, that which is anityam is called karyam. Why? Because it has got a beginning. But Atma is not a karya. Karyatvat, therefore akaryatvat, therefore nityam. Akaryatvat nityam, Atma. Karyatvat anityam, all the other things. All the other things. In the world, what we observe, anything we observe in the prapancha, a product, is anityam because of being a product. Because of being a product, therefore it has got a beginning. It comes into existence at a particular time. So therefore, karyatvat anityam, but Atma is akaryam. Akaryaha Atma. Therefore, it is nityam. It doesn't have a beginning. Anything that has a beginning, that is a product. What will happen to that in the pralaya? Karane praliyate. It is dissolved in the cause. An effect will be dissolved into the cause. A pot is dissolved into the cause, clay. Therefore, any product, any effect is not permanent. It is impermanent, anityam. So anything which has a beginning, is anityam. Beginning means beginning or karanam. Anything which has karanam is anityam. If it has a karanam, therefore it becomes a karyam. Karyatvat anityam. But Atma is free from karanam. It is free from adihi. Adihi means karanam. Therefore, Therefore, Atma is Nityam. Yatha Prithivyadi. Yatha Prithivyadi. Prithivyadi. Bhashyakara gives an example. Yatha Prithivyadi. Prithvi, etc. All this in the Pralaya, it goes into its cause. Prithvi, therefore, it's a product. Because it is a product, therefore, it is resolved into its cause, which is Apaha. Apaha is also a product which resolves into the Karanam, Agni. So, a product as Karanam, because it has got a Karanam, therefore, it comes into existence at a particular time, particular period. Therefore, when it's resolved, it goes back into the cause. Therefore, they are Anityam. Atma is not like that. Akaryatvat. Akaryatvat Nityam. And also Sarvakaranatvat, being the cause of everything. Therefore, it is Akaryam. Atma is not a Karya. It is not a Karya. Akaryatvat. Therefore, it is Nityam. Being not a product, therefore, Atma is Nityam, permanent. Any product will be Anityam. Karyatvat. And Atma is not a product. Akaryatvat. So, therefore, na tasya karanam asti. Brahma, for Brahma, there is no cause into which it can resolve. Yasmin praliyeta. If it is a cause, then Brahma can resolve into that. But it doesn't have a cause. Therefore, there is nothing into which the Atma, Brahma, can resolve into. So, there is no resolution for Brahma. There is no resolution for Brahma. So, therefore, it is not in a karya. It is not a product. It is not a cause. It is not a product. Brahman has no cause. Therefore, it is not a product. And sarvakaranatvat, it is akaryam. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam Brahma. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam Brahma. So, therefore, the word here, the anadi is connected to the nityam. Since it has no cause, therefore it is nityam. Suppose if it has a cause, then Brahma would be the karya. And the karyam Brahma will be resolved into its karanam. But that is not there for Brahma. Therefore, Brahma is nityam. Why it is nityam is being explained. Because it doesn't have a cause. Since it doesn't have a cause, therefore it is not a product, therefore it is nityam. There is another way also we can explain the word nityam. Through ananta. Through anadi has been explained now. Then through ananta. Ananta also we can explain. What we will see. What we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Sharon ji,
Yes.
have a question after we stop recording.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Yes.